All right, we're back. We're talking about public goods. We're talking about taxes. We're talking about start the timer. But before we go into public goods and why we need taxes and the problems with free riders, let me just go real back to our chart real quick so we know that public goods are things that are non-exclusive, meaning you can't exclude people. You can't charge a price. It's got to be free. Also, it benefits many people at the same time, meaning they're non-rivalrous, meaning everyone can use it at the same time. Everybody can use it at the same time. Shoes over here, that's one person. But schools, we can all use it at the same time and we don't use it up. Roads, we can all use it at the same time, we don't use it up. Military, we can all use it at the same time, we don't use it up, and it's free. That's public goods. The stuff that falls in this category, these are public goods. This is what we're talking about. And we also have to pay for these public goods through taxes. What? I thought you said it was going to be free. I'm going to show you exactly why we have to create taxes to pay for public goods. Here is your scenario. We got the Jones, the Roberts, the Hodges, the Johnsons, the Smith. They all live in a neighborhood and one day it snows. Well, all of these families have got to get to work to pay the bills. They got to pay for their kids to get stuff because all their kids love stuff. So you got to get a snowplow in. And so it's $100. So what they decide is every family pitches in. This is a scenario where we do not have public goods, by the way. This is a scenario where there is no such thing as public goods. There's no such thing as a good that is non-rivalrous and non-exclusive. Forget about that box. No public goods. So if these people need their street plowed, $100, they all pitch in. Jones, Roberts, Hodges, Johnson, Smith. They all pitch in money and they get the street plowed. Hooray! We're going to work. Is that a good thing? Yeah, well. Got to pay them bills. So now, in our next scenario, I'm trying to mix scenario with situation, scenario, the Jones, the Roberts, the Hodges, the Johnsons, and, the Smith family didn't pay. Those Smiths, but they still pay the money, and everybody just puts in a little bit more, and the road gets plowed. Cool. Awesome. Wait a second. There's a problem. Everybody paid a little bit more. Road still plowed. We can all still go to work, but guess what? Smith didn't pay. Guess what? Road still plowed, so the Smith family can still use the road, and they didn't pay a dime! They didn't pay a dime! They are what we call free riders. In this situation, they're going to still use the clean road. They're still going to go to work, and they didn't pay a dime. That's not fair! And you're right, that's not fair. That causes some problems. That is an issue. We got to do something to prevent this problem. Free riders. That's why we're going to end up with taxes to pay for a public good. Remember, a public good is something that's technically free. You got to forget about the whole tax thing, but you don't pay for it and that everyone can use. We got to worry about free riders. In that scenario, Smith didn't pay, used the service. How can we make sure that everyone pays for the plow? The only way to ensure that everyone pays for the good that everyone is going to receive is taxes. We have to make people pay taxes so that everyone is forced to chip in so that we don't have free riders that get to drive on the roads that they did not pay for, get to drive on the plowed roads that they did not pay for. That's one. I mean, there's other reasons why we have taxes, but one of the major reasons that you have to create taxes is you have to pay for the public goods, goods that everyone can use and everyone can use at the same time. If you try to just pay for it on your own, you're going to run into free riders. Franklin County High School needs a new school building. It's an old school I used to work at when I created this PowerPoint. So the Franklin County, they need a new high school building. Pay for it through taxes. That's the best payment. Make everyone pay taxes. Everyone pitches in. What if you don't do taxes? What if you just say, hey, everybody, we need a new school. We need you all to pitch in. There's a problem with that. Some people will not pay, but their kids will still go to the school. They are free riders. If you have taxes, you make sure that everyone pays for the school that everyone's going to use. If you don't, then some people pitch in, some people don't, but everyone still uses it and you have free riders. You've probably experienced free riders in your lifetime. You throw a party, hey, everybody pitch in for the pizza, and everybody but one guy pitches in for the pizza, but that one guy still eats the pizza. Now, pizza's going to be pizza's exclusive and it's rivalrous, but it does give you an example of a free rider, someone who does not pay to use the service. We can prevent that by creating a tax, or you can prevent that by charging a tax. Like you come into my house, you're paying $1 right away, or else you're not coming in. Here's another example, highway. to Blacksburg from Rocky Mount. You could pay for that road that everyone can use and everyone can consume at once through taxes, or you can say, hey, you know what, let's just have everybody pay. You're going to run into a situation where some people don't pay for the road, but they still use the road because you can't exclude people from using the road. You run into free riders. One of the reasons we create taxes is it's the most efficient and effective way to pay for public goods. There's really no other way to fund a public good, because a public good is something that anyone can use and anyone can use and everyone can use at the same time. You're going to run into free riders unless you tax, because, well, we need to do something to keep those free riders out. You can't. By definition, a public good is something you cannot exclude someone from using. So you're going to have free riders you can't exclude. So the only way to prevent that free rider is to create taxes that pay for this public good. Like these fireworks. That's a public good. It is non-exclusive. You cannot be excluded from using the fireworks on July 4th. How would you do that? Would you go door to door and just punch people in the eyes so that their eyes are black and they can't see? What do you do? Like, tell people, you got to stay in your house all night, 4th of July. You're not allowed looking at our fireworks because you didn't pay for them. You can't exclude people from using fireworks. Some nights on the 4th of July, I mean, you're looking at everybody's fireworks. You can see fireworks from town to town. You can see them. It's very hard to exclude someone. Fireworks are non-exclusive. They're also non-rivalrous. When I'm using the fireworks on the screen right now, you're using the fireworks on the screen. Everyone can use the fireworks on the screen. So by definition, you cannot exclude people, and we can all consume it at the same time. It is a public good. If we just try to pitch in money to pay for the fireworks, we're going to run into free riders or free loaders, people that don't pay but still consume the good. That is unfair. That is not an effective way of financing public goods. The best way is for the city of Thomasville to create city fireworks. How do they pay for those city fireworks? They take money from your taxes so that everyone still pays for it. Now you're like, I thought it was free. Sort of, kind of. I mean, I guess it's not free if you really want to think of, I pay taxes for it. That's fine. You're getting a little deep in the weeds right there, but you didn't pay admission to see these fireworks. Now, if you go to like Carowinds or a baseball game, well, the baseball games don't even count because you don't have to pay to go into the baseball game. You can stand outside and still see the fireworks. But Carowinds, which is in a distant location, they usually have fireworks every night, or Kings Island in Ohio, or Cedar Point. Usually amusement parks have fireworks afterwards. If you want to see those fireworks, you really need to be present. You have to have paid for admission. You're not going to have a very good seat. So that's a way that they can make fireworks exclusive. But for the most part, fireworks are going to be non-excludable, and they are going to be non-rivalrous. Those are public goods. They are paid for by taxes. This one was really short, so I just want to real quickly go. So now you get why you got taxes and the problem with free riders. You got to make everybody pay, or else you're going to have people that cheat the system. Those are examples of public goods. And again, remember, everything here is exclusive. Mainly they charge you money for, and they are rivalrous, meaning only one person can use it at the same time. Over here, it's free, but everyone can't use it at the same time or it'll disappear. I mean, so many people can catch fish. Only so many people can use the fertile soil. Only so many people can hunt wildlife. This is actually a really rare circumstance. There are many examples of rivalrous, exclusive, private goods. This is private goods right here. And this is what our economy is based upon. This is a big deal. Here, this is pretty rare. There are only a very few examples of something that is non-exclusive and rivalrous. You really don't need to even know those. Here, this is another private good. These are not as rare. They're not as plentiful as shoes, cheeseburgers, and cars because they are kind of unique. It is kind of unique to have something that we can all use at the same time, but we also have to pay for. There's not a lot of examples, but there's enough. Movie theaters, amusement parks, going to a sporting event. If I go watch the Charlotte Hornets play, you can watch the Charlotte Hornets play. We can all go into that. Many people can cram into that stadium and consume the product at the same time, but we're being excluded. TV is another example. We can all use TV, but outside of cable TV, like outside of, network TV, you've got to pay money for HBO. But if I pay for HBO, meaning exclusive, but I can watch HBO, you can watch HBO, we can all consume the product at once. So it is actually non-rivalrous. Over here, where we have free and non-rivalry, meaning that we can all use it at the same time, that's where we get our public goods. And public goods are paid for by taxes. That'll do it. That wraps up economics. Thanks for joining me, folks.